Hey guys, welcome back to Lindasresinroom. So, we're going to make a tic-tac-toe board. Now, we'll have to make these letters 3 different times. But we're going to do horses. So, I've got my big tic-tac-toe board out. I do have a small one, but I like the bigger one better. And what I'm going to do is, after this cures up, we'll put a different horse on each tic-tac-toe board. These are temporary tattoos, and then we'll cover it with some clear resin. But for our color, I'm going to use this metallic pigment paste. It is from Temu. I don't think you can find this stuff on Temu anymore. I've tried. If I can find it, I will give you all a link. If I can't, then it'll just say on Temu out of stock or discontinued or whatever I can find that it says. So let's get this opened. There's an ant crawling on my table. All right. So let's just mix this up because it has separated. I want the color to be well distributed. Okay. All right. I'm going to put a good amount of color. So I don't know. I'm going to use all that. Maybe a little bit more. I'm not sure how pigmented this is going to be or how well it's going to do this resin. Now, I have not used this before. And I've not mixed my resin yet. I thought I'd put my pigment paste in first and get this mixed. Yeah, that'd be plenty. But I think green will be a pretty color behind the horses. Like grass. Alright guys, I think that's going to be really pretty. I'm going to finish mixing this and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I got my resin mixed up. I mixed up 8 ounces or 240 grams. So what we are going to do is hope that this is enough. Now I have not put this in the debubbler. All I did was mix it up. Don't know if this is enough to fill this part up. I'm hoping. But it might need a little more. Which is okay, because if it does, then we can put something on the back side and then cover it in clear resin. Get all of this scraped out. I guess I wasn't thinking, but I didn't mix up any to do the X's and O's. So I'm going to have to mix up resin for that. So we've got to decide what color we want to do it. Maybe a blue and a brown. Brown for the dirt, blue for the sky. Do it all kind of nature-ish since it is horses. All of that go together, and I'm sure it will drip. There we go. Now let's turn this upside down. Ooh. I don't have no other spots to turn my cups upside down. There we go. I do have another mat. I'm going to have to get it. Alright, let's clean this stick off. I need to clean my gloves. There's my alcohol. Alright, it does have just a little space. So I will find something that we can put on the back of that to put on there and then cover it in clear resin. If I can find something that's kind of like horses, maybe. I don't know. I think I might have some horses. Don't know if I've got anything that will fit that, though. Alright, X's and O's. 2 ounces is probably going to be plenty to do those. So, I'm going to mix up some more resin, separate it for our different colors, and then I'll be right back. Alright guys, I got 50 grams of resin mixed up. So I got 25 grams in each little cup. I hope it'll be enough. But we'll see. I figured I might as well start using some of these little sample colors that I get. These came from Laura's Art Corner. Brown Sugar Dahlia and Sea Green Teal. I thought those would go pretty good. So let's use a little bit of these and try them out. Okay. We don't need much. Let me clean my spoon off. Okay, get another little scoop of this one. Okay, that looks about the same. Try to turn those up so that way if you can, I don't know if you can see them or not, but alright, that's a pretty brown. It's a dark brown. And you know how micro powders are. Make sure you mix them well, or you'll have flowy pieces. Okay. Now let's see how this blue is. What is it? Sea Green Teal. I was going to do a more bluish color to the sky, but I figured I need to start using some of these colors that I have in bags. I've got so many, and I always forget about them. So, we are going to start trying them. And that's a pretty blue, isn't it? Alright. I like this little thing better. This one's not as strong and not as hot as that other little torch there. Okay. Hopefully there's enough to fill up too. I'm going to have to mix up just a little bit more, I think. Not much, but I bet each one holds about 15 grams, 15 milliliter. should have mixed up 60 instead of 50. Because that means my blue is going to be short too. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to mix up 10 more. And then I'm going to divide it between these and see if that will be enough. Whew, the wind outside is horrible. Alright guys, give me a few minutes to mix up just a little bit more resin. Alright guys, so I mixed up 5 more grams of resin for each one. I've already put the color in here, so let's just get these filled up. I didn't put much color in this one. Okay. But I did put enough to hopefully get it the same color as the other, which it's going to mix as it cures up. Let's scrape this off. Come on, I know you want to drip. There you go. There we go. Clean this stick. All right. Now let's do our blue. That's pretty. I don't know if the O's take more or the same amount, or didn't think about it. Okay. So they all take about the same amount. Okay. And I think with the color that I have enough to do these at least 2 more times, because I didn't use much color at all. So, and then maybe that will be all of it. I think I'll still have a little left. Okay, get the rest of that down in there. That drip off there. Okay, now I believe I just died. There we go. All right, we will let that cure up, guys, and we will come back, demold all this, do some more X's and O's, do the back of our board, and I will see you guys then. All right, guys, so these have cured up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to demold the X's and the O's so that we can do some more without interrupting the board. I took my Cricut, I took my Cricut and I made a horse that I thought would look really pretty there. It's in gold. And then we're just going to put a little bit of clear resin over top of it. And that will be the rest of the back. And then we will mix up some more X's and O's. I also have a little pink mold over there, if you can see it sitting. I have an order to do 3 of those little owls. So we are going to do those, or do one of them along today with these. I thought I would do the first one in this caramel drizzle because she didn't say what colors she wanted. So I thought I would do one that would be white, one gray, and then one brown. That way they're all different. And then we'll paint them up after. So let's put us a little color in here. So we got all those out. I think this is such a pretty color. Okay. Put the lid on this so I don't spill it. And that is this little piggy caramel drizzle. And then I'm going to put all these in the debubbler before I pour. Yeah, I think that will be plenty of color. This is such a pretty color. It's almost got a red tint to it. Okay. And then that's my 60 clear to put on the white. What I did is I did 30 gram for my X's O's. I did 60 gram for my board, and everything that was left out of the 6 ounces is in the cup for the owl. So let's see. Let's clean this off. I don't want brown in my blue. And this is the Sea Green Teal by Laura's Art Corner. Just going to do a little scoop there. And we still got plenty left to do the rest. Okay, and let me clean this off. And the brown sugar dahlia. And I will tag all of these. I'll give you the link to all these colors in the description box. Now with the owl mold, I'm going to tell you right now, I got it from Temu. And it's like every other Temu mold I try to find right now. It'll either say discontinued or out of stock. Or it'll be so outrageous it's not worth it. Alright guys, I'm going to get these mixed up. Get them in the debubbler. Here's our Dahlia Brown. I'm going to mix them up very well. And our Sea Green Teal. I'm going to mix these, get them in the debubbler. We'll be back to put our horse on and cover him up. So I'll see you in just a few. Alright guys, what time that is in the debubbler? Let's get our horse on. If I can get him. Alright, I have this little tool. I think you use it with your Cricut, but it works awesome when you go to put it on your resin. So this one I keep up here. I'm just going to go around that. See if I can peel this off. It's the hardest part to me is getting these things started. I could have left a place, couldn't I, when I was doing it. And it's still not transferring over. So let me just go around it a little bit more. So I want each one of these to transfer. I don't want to leave anything behind. I liked this horse, that's why I cut this one out. I had a few different ones that I fixed up with the Cricut, but this one I really like. Make sure everything comes off. Alright. Now we're just going to line this up. And that's where he's going to go, because once he's down, there's no getting this off. Usually he will stick as soon as you put it down and you don't even have to go over it. Oops, I lied. There we go. Now, I don't want the sticky part down, but I'm just going to kind of reinforce it down just to make sure that it's going to stay. I don't want this to bubble up in my resin. few little bubbles in there. I'm just going to work them out. The resin will get up under there if you have those bubbles. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to get the rest of that, but I think it will be okay. So like I said, this vinyl usually sticks really well. I really like that. All right. Okay, I'm just going to let the debubbler continue to work. Is that something blue? There we go. Got that off. I'll be back as soon as the resin's finished with the debubbler. I'll see you guys then. Alright guys, so I got a resin out of the debubbler. Just, of course, always a couple bubbles on the top. Okay. Let's get our X's and O's. Let's see, that's the brown one. The blue one. It's the brown one. Alright. Let's see, brown is the X. That's such a pretty color. Fill it up slowly, that way I don't have to worry about bubbles getting over in the corners. Just let it kind of spread out on its own. Okay. See if we can scrape what's left in this cup out here. All right. One last little scrape for the other one. And that is good. That brown one is filled. Let's clean this stick off. Throw that over in my pile. Now the blue. I think that's pretty when it goes in there like that and swirls, isn't it? Let that push itself out so there's no bubbles. And let's see if we can scrape out this cup. I think the X's fill up a little more than the O's with 1 ounce, but it still is fine. No issues. They still fill up completely. They just don't dome. And one more little scrape and we will be done with this one. that drip off there. Alright, now our blue is done. We'll still have to do one more of these, and we'll do them when we do the other side. So it'll all be finished at the same time anyways. Alright, now our clear resin. Give me another little stick over here. We are just going to pour this along. I think this will be plenty to cover the whole back. Scrape all this out. Don't want to leave any of it in there because I'm sure I need every drop I can to cover this back. It probably could have used 3 ounces, but I think 2 is going to be plenty. I don't want too thick of a clear layer on the back. All right. Let that drop off. Now I'll clean this stick off because we're going to get my little silicone thing here. It actually needs cleaned. So let me see if I got another one. I have all kinds of these things. Okay. Trying to get it open. Worst part is trying to open these things. This one's a little different. It's a little rounded. And I'm just going to push this all the way to the edge around this whole thing. These make it a lot easier to get those corners. Make sure I don't have any bubbles. Yeah, I created a bubble there. Do you see that one? But we got it popped. Let's get this across the bottom here. Now I can go around and make sure that this whole thing has resin. Pulled away from the edge there a little bit in there. And I could leave this alone and it would close on its own, but I like it better when I know it's already closed. And then I can watch for places to open up. And then I'm like, oh, yep, I've got to add a little more resin if I don't have enough. So, now we will just let this, I'm going to scrape all this off of silicone here because I'll let it dry up and then I'll peel it off. There we go. Clean this off. Good thing about silicone, the resin just peels right off. Alright, I don't see any bubbles, but I'm going to go over it just in case. Be careful, I don't want to burn my vinyl either. But, you know, my little torch isn't that strong. Okay, there's that. Now let's fill up our little owl. I'm going to paint him after. Do this slowly because he's got some little ears down in there that I want to make sure that resin gets into and doesn't leave bubbles. I'd hate to do this and demold him and he have holes everywhere. Wouldn't that be horrible? Some you can fix, some you can't. I'm still going to squeeze him. Okay. He doesn't use a lot of resin. He's just a little tiny thing. I have a big owl, but she wanted the little ones. So the little ones are the ones we're doing. Let's see if we can dome that up just a little bit there. Still got an ounce of resin left. So we're going to move that there. What can we do with an ounce of resin? Oh, I know what I need that for. Something I messed up the other day. All right, guys, we'll let all this cure up. Our little owl, our tic-tac-toe board will come back. We'll demold everything. We will pour some more X's and O's, and then we'll work on the front side with our temporary tattoos. So I'll see you guys then. Hey guys, so this is cured up. So I picked out the horses that I want for this. Now I think I did the owl with this one. I went ahead and demolded him. I've got to figure out what color feet owl have before I paint them up. But I did paint his face. And then I made a white one. And then I'm going to do a gray one. So we'll get to see the white one. These things just pop right out. Oh gosh, I screwed him up. I messed his eyebrow up. He wasn't completely done. Oh well. I'll have to remake that. Okay. Anyways, let's get this demolded. Got my paintbrush, got my cup of water, got my paper towels. I do need to make one more X and one more O. They look awesome. These always do really good. Okay. And another O. Now let's get our board. Because we've got to put those in. And now I'm going to measure out. All right. Give me a couple little cups here. Okay, I'm going to pull them over to this side. A little easier on me if I can reach it. All right. Turn that on, put the little cup on there, zero it out. I didn't put this resin in the debubbler because it's just going to sit. So I only need one X and one O, so I only need 15 grams in this cup. I think I hear my grandbabies. My grandbabies are coming to spend the night. I think I just heard them lock the vehicle door. I think I hear them talking. Woo, I can't wait. I love my grandbabies. All right, now I need 60, probably 50. I think 50 is even more than what we'll need for that little owl. I think that'll be enough. He doesn't use much. All right, get a couple of sticks here. Now I'm using the Eye Candy Gray Tide for the owl because this one is going to be gray. If you use Eye Candy products, there is a link and a discount code in the description for 10% off of Eye Candy products. It's hard to find the gray. I really like this gray. I don't need much. Alright. Let's go ahead and put our mica powders in. There's my little spoon here. Got my brown sugar dahlia. Won't need near as what we've put in before. Seems like I still put the same amount, didn't I? Okay, and then our sea green teal. Let me clean this spoon off. Okay. Let's do just a little bit more. I think that's good. Get these mixed up. And you know how mica powder is. Gotta really get it mixed. Okay, I'm going to let that sit. And then we're going to mix the green. Or blue, whatever color you want to call it. Looks blue to me. Are the boys here? Tell them I'll be down there in just a minute, okay? Alright, got that mixed up. Set that to the side. Now let's mix this gray. My grandbabies are here. That was my husband. Okay. Get all that down in there. Okay, I'm going to let that sit, do its thing. Now let's pour in an X. Get all this scraped out of this cup. That way it can completely fill it up. Okay. There's that. And clean this stick off. Throw it in my pile. Not gray. Alright. Let's do our blue. And let's scrape this. That way we can get it filled up as much as we can. One more time around. And scrape it on the end. There we go. Clean that stick off. All right. Now, our owl. Where's my torch? Okay. I'm just going to do this very slowly. So I want it to go right down in those ears and fill them up, and the eyes. I don't want any bubbles if I don't have to. Now I'm going to throw the stick around down in there just to make sure. I usually don't end up with bubbles down in there, but you never can tell. Sometimes they do around the eyes. And I did 40 gram, and I think that is going to work out perfect. Now another thing, I end up with holes sometimes around the feet. So I'm going to take my toothpick and go right around those. That way if there's any bubbles in those toes, then I can get them out. Okay. And that is that. Okay. Set that to the side. Where's my little... Okay. Now, for these, I gotta get all of these off, stick these down. There's clear pieces across the front. You gotta get those clear pieces off. I made one of these for my grandbabies. They with jellyfish. Almost. Now, this one kind of needs to go like that, I think. All right. Get my water, paintbrush. I'm just going to go across the top of these. That way I'm not getting excess resin. I hear my babies. They're knocking on the door. Honey, Granny can't get it right now. Okay, Granny will be down there in just a minute. No. It is for a birthday party for Kason. It's for Kason. It was for his birthday party. I'm sure. No, that's for him too. Y'all's is the... Yeah, the targets are yours. Sorry about that, guys. I've got toys in the house because they know they always get toys when they come to Granny's, of course. And some's for another little boy for his birthday party. And they was just asking if it was for them. Okay. Horses kind of look green. Maybe I should have done a beige background with the horses. Can't get my paper off. This makes it so much easier using that paintbrush to transfer these over. I don't like my babies being here with resin, so I had the door locked because I knew they were coming over. Usually I have it open and I have the window in front of me open so I can cross ventilate, but I do have an air purifier also in here. Okay, let me dab these off. Now let's just put a little thin clear coat of resin on. Let me bust some bubbles on top of there first. Alright, just going to put a little clear coat and let that scatter out. Probably put too much in that first one. Okay, where's my little tool? Here we go. Just pushing this to the corners. Helping it to spread out. Okay. Got a bubble I'm going to have to fix. And I dripped some resin there. I'm going to have to get that. See a couple bubbles. Okay. Oops, I got the water. Don't want to do that. Alright, let's finish these last ones here. Okay. I'll take my torch to this too. It's not in a mold. I don't have to worry about melting a mold or anything. Okay. And last one. All right. Now let me get some alcohol. This is 99% isopropyl alcohol. Just going to spritz this down just a little bit so that I can get that resin off there. There we go. All right, guys, we're going to let this cure up, and then I will add a picture at the end. I don't think there's a reason to demold the last two X's and O's, but I don't like this torch. All right, I will let this stuff cure up and post a picture at the end, and I'll see you guys for the next video. I'll see you then. All right, guys, so our X's and O's are done. So let's get these demolded. And let's see. Here's all of our O's. I think I put a little more color in these. And all of our X's. And then our little, I'll have to redo the white one. I'll have to paint this little guy up. Trim his feet, it looks like. Pop this out of there. He's got some micro bubbles. Toes look good. Eyes. Alright, there he is. And here's our little brown one. And I'm going to do his feet orange. And then our little animals here. Alright guys, I'll see you back for the next video. See you then.